Good morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead. Today we are going to begin a process where we are building up our freezer to the max. They're already almost all the way full, but we believe that the times are getting a little bit more precarious, and so we want to be as prepared as possible with our freezers full of food. And of course we have a way to keep them operational should the grid go down using our Bluetti solar power stations, and we recently had a video on that one. So today we're going to be doing bulk pizzas. I have been making pizzas since my children were small, and off and on through Jim's and my marriage, we just often didn't have time to mix up the pizza, but especially when Jack, Jim's grandson, was here, he loves pizza, and so we made pizza several times. Now, my recipe for the dough I've had for several decades, and I'm going to put it below. It's very similar to many recipes that are out there on the internet, and you may already have your own recipe. But this one calls for 7 cups of flour, which means it's going to be a big batch, and it will make hopefully 6 pizzas. And then we are going to freeze them, and then we will I'll show you how we package them and put them in the freezer. So we're going to start with the pizza dough, and I already have the 7 cups of flour right here in my mixer. This is my Ancrisham. It is my all-time favorite kitchen. It's called the kitchen machine, and it does a lot of things, but I also have a backup KitchenAid to do things that this one isn't quite as adept in doing. But use whatever you have. You can even mix this up by hand if you wish. So I have 7 cups of flour in there. Next, I'm going to put the yeast in. This is instant yeast. I keep this in my freezer at all times. This particular box is 4 years old, or package rather. It's been in the freezer 4 years, and I just opened it recently. So here is, it's 1.5 tablespoons of yeast. There's 1, and there's 1/2. And so this is going right back in the freezer so that it will stay fresh and be good for, another 4 years. I very seldom have yeast go bad because I keep it in the freezer. So in it goes. Then a tablespoon of sugar. Whoops, that's the flour. I'm already done with the flour. Tablespoon of sugar. And this is to help the yeast grow. 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Then I'm going to put in 1/3 cup of olive oil. And 2 1/4 cups of warm water. So I'll get the water. So here's the 2 cups of water, which I'm going to put in directly. And then into the olive oil container, I put another 1/4 cup of water. I'm going to hold back on that. As we all know, when we make bread, it differs day to day on how much water we need or how much flour we need. The end result of this pizza dough is that it needs to be a stiffer dough than bread. So we want it just a little bit stiff. So let's get over here to the mixing, and we'll soon find out if we need to add this extra water. So it's more important that you see inside the bowl than it is for you to see my head. And so I'm going to put the scraper in place, bring the arm over so I can attach the roller, and I'm going to bring it to almost the middle. Let me see if I can turn this a little bit so you can see better. All right, that's better. Okay, now I'm going to just turn it on low so that we can start seeing how this is going to mix. All right, it is just a little bit dry, so I'm going to drizzle some of this water in. See if we can get it moving again. And it may even take some more water. We'll find out. This is just the mixing stage. It is not the kneading stage. It's just mixing the ingredients together. I can certainly smell that olive oil. I think it's going to work. So I'm now going to turn the speed up and turn my timer for 8 minutes. It has a little timer right on the base here. And then this starts the kneading. So it will knead this for 8 minutes and we'll be back. We may have to make some adjustments. If so, I will tell you when we get back. So here is a quick look. We're halfway through the kneading. And notice how all the flour has been picked up. The bowl is clean. The dough is stiffer than bread. Perfect. So we'll continue the kneading. All right, it just finished. And it's beautiful dough. Fabulous, fabulous. Stiffer than bread, but not by a whole lot. And I just like to do a couple of hand kneads on it so that I can get the feel of it. Make sure the texture is right. And at the very top end of the kneading, I did add a couple of more tablespoons of water. I could tell that it was still just a bit too dry. Okay, now I'm going to plop it in here and punch it down. And we will come back when this is doubled and I will have all of the makings for pizza set out and show you how we do that. So, see you in a minute. Look at our dough. We really got a high rise on this one, and it's just perfect, perfect. So, here is what I do. I weigh the dough. And I'm in grams. Oh, it's ounces. So I need about 9 ounces per pizza. These are going to be small pieces, about this size, because that's all Jim and I eat. I eat 1 piece. I'm not a great fan of pizza, but I will eat it. And because I'm watching my calories, I'll just have 1 piece and then a big salad. So I'm going to get these cut in about 9 ounce things. That was right on the money. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is to roll each one of these into a ball right before I roll it out. I have the flour here, but a lot of times I don't need to use the flour. I like it to stick just a little bit to the countertop. It helps me to stretch it out into place. Going from the center out helps a lot. So this is probably about right. Yep. So I'm just going to lift this up and put it on here. And I have a nice little pizza. Now I could freeze these just like this and have the dough already and then do the pizzas one at a time by taking the dough out of the freezer. But I like to make up the whole pizzas. Now I am using a canned pizza sauce. This is Summer's Inside pizza sauce. We love this pizza sauce. It's nice and thick. It doesn't run, and it comes from our restaurant store. But use whatever pizza sauce you would like. And it takes just about 1/3 of a cup for this size. A bit more. And then I'm just going to run it not quite to the edge. And these are small, but I like the size. They fit in our freezer really well. Okay, now Jim loves all kinds of pizza, but he really likes ham and pineapple. So this one, that's what this one is going to be. I'm just putting some ham slices on here. Leave enough for a second one. And then I'm gonna get some pineapple. I just happen to have some pineapple tidbits left over from another recipe. Wait, Jim. Cheese goes down first and then the toppings, right?
No, it's, yeah. You've got your sauce. You're doing it an alternate way, so don't worry about it. And
No.
then you can go back and
Oh, I got in too much of a hurry. So I need just a little bit, tad more sauce. There we go. Okay, now the cheese. My cheese-loving husband also loves cheddar on pizzas, so I'm just gonna top this with another layer of cheese. Now we'll get the toppings back on. So this is almost a personal pan-sized pizza, but at our age and with our appetites, this is just perfect for us. And so this one is done. Now, what I'm going to do next is, because the dough continues to rise, I can't leave these out on the countertop and do them like you would all rollout, all sauce, all toppings. I do them one at a time, and then I get them in the freezer right away. So I freeze them just like this without any covering, because they freeze fairly fast, and then I'll show you, we'll come back after all of these have frozen and show you how I do the other part. So I'm gonna get this one in the freezer right now. So I'm going to do another pineapple and ham one right now. I'll do that one off camera, and then I will come back and show you how we do the meat lovers piece. Okay, here's our meat lovers. So I've got the dough on the cardboard, stretching it just a little bit more, because sometimes it's a little stubborn and doesn't stay stretched. And that sauce. To not quite the edge. And cheese. Okay, here we go. A few onions. A few bell peppers, and these are our freeze-dried bell peppers that have been reconstituted. They're tricolor. They're red, yellow, orange. And then some bacon. I just cooked a couple of extra pieces when we had breakfast the other day, and I've been saving them for this moment. And we have some pepperoni. And I usually just use whatever I have in the refrigerator. So I happen to have some leftover pepperoni, but I wasn't sure I had enough, so we've got another one just in case. So I'm gonna put some pepperoni on here. And of course, when you make your pizza yourself, you can be much more generous with whatever you want. And Jim loves meat, he loves cheese, he loves bacon, and I will eat all of the above. And then also from the restaurant store, we got some what are called pork crumbles, and they are especially for putting on pizza. So a few of these little crumbles. And it just looks like cooked hamburger, but it's pork. So this is a loaded, loaded pizza, just the way Jim likes them. One of the things that I use our larger coffee filters for is that I can put a little cover over this, like this, and then I can put another pizza on the top on a cardboard while it's freezing. So I'm going to put a cover over the one that I just put in the freezer. And because I still have some height left in that little corner, I'm going to go ahead and put this right on the top of the other one. Then when everything is frozen, the cardboard comes off, the coffee filter comes off, and they go in a little packet that I'll be showing you. So I'm going to continue with making the pizzas. I'm going to make 3 more meat lovers, and then I'm going to get them in the freezer, and we will be back when everything is frozen solid, and I'll show you how we package them and then how we put them in the big freezers outside. So see you soon. All right, here we are. It's been about 6 hours, 7 hours, and these are all frozen. Isn't that great? So here's what I do with these. Again, I just use, I could do a number of things, but I really just prefer to use the 1 gallon Ziploc bags. I find them very convenient for this kind of thing. And so I lift the frozen pizza off the cardboard. So I just slip these and they fit perfectly inside the gallon size. I've labeled them. And then I stand them up just like this. So did I get the right label on that one? A Hawaiian, yes, that is the pineapple and ham that Jim likes. Well, maybe I'll stack them like this first. Okay, and so then this comes off very easy. This is a meat lovers. Get one of the meat lovers that I prepared in advance. Slip it in. These are a little bit taller because they're loaded with meat. And that goes there. I'm actually going to put these 2 back in the freezer and freeze them solid. But this is, you can get the idea that these are going to go in the freezer like this. And there should be room for all 6 of them, right like this. And then these will go on one of the shelves out in our freezer and be ready for just us to grab. And we have a pizza stone, so we will heat up that pizza stone to about 425 degrees. And we don't have a fancy pizza cooker at all, but I'm very satisfied with what my kitchen oven will do at 450 degrees. So, and then once it gets all hot, we just pop the pizzas right on there with a pizza peel, until just in their frozen condition, and these aren't frozen in the middle, so we're going to give them just a little bit more time. And then, and they're just delicious. And so I hope this has been useful for you. We'll give you some ideas. And you know, you can make these pizzas any size you want. And if you like the idea of the round, the cake cardboards, those were 8-inch, and they come in larger sizes as well for larger families if you would like to do that. So that's our pizza story in a nutshell. Hope it's been helpful to you. Let us know what you think and what you do that may also help others in our community. So thank you so much for being with us, and we will see you again very soon with more videos.